Welcome to Random Conversations. Today we are in Uganda during the COVID-19 pandemic. On one of my visits to Uganda, I met a lot of people, most of them by default, and one of them is Ainebyona Brenda. It was mandatory then that all inbound and outbound passengers to Uganda and from Uganda have to test for COVID-19. Whether or not, wherever you're coming from, you have tested. So on one of my outbound travels from Entebbe, at one of the testing centers, is the person who tested me. I didn't know, however, that behind her medical profession lies a hidden talent in entrepreneurship. I wasn't surprised, however, when I came to learn about it, because Ugandans are known as entrepreneurs. They're a community of enterprising people. So it didn't shock me. But the starting point of this conversation was Brenda's deep interest in Kiswahili. However, before we venture into the strides that she has made in Kiswahili, I find it appropriate for us to know a little bit about this person. Here she comes with a story that could inspire young people in Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, DRC, Sudan, and even beyond. Welcome. Listen to her story and learn something from her. And from there, we will venture into her deep interest in Kiswahili. Karibu. It's a conversation like any other. Yeah, so we start with yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what is your relationship with Kiswahili? Please.
My name is Ainebyona Brenda. I'm a medical laboratory technician by profession. I'm an entrepreneur. I would like referring to it as a hustler, because when you say an entrepreneur, someone looks at it in the perspective of you have money. I don't like people calling me CEO, but I'm a CEO of a small company.
But you have money, that means you have money.
Okay.
You can't run businesses without having money.
Yeah, I have money, but it's not sufficient enough.
Okay.
My company is called Geha General Enterprises Limited, and I deal in manufacturing of detergent and soap-based body care products like shower gel, hand wash, hair shampoo, to mention. But if you can look at my hair, my natural hair is just one of the results of my handmade hair gel, hair shampoo. So that is what I deal in basically. I'm a researcher.
So it means you make the products and you use them yourself?
Yes, of course.
Before selling them to others?
Before I make any dispatch, I have to first test them myself, so that in case they can burn, then let them burn me, not my customer. So every product I make, I must first test it myself. But still, I use science. I don't just use to gauge if they're going to work out or not, but I use science to do my products.
What do you mean? Can you explain about that science?
Okay, the formulation, these products, they have the chemical formulation in which they are supposed to follow. If you're making the products, there is a base, there is an acid, there is a salt. So I know that science of composition of how much you're supposed to add in which. So regardless of that, I also ensure some quality procedures to make sure that my product has come out well. But still, before I dispatch it to a customer, I first try it myself. If it is a shampoo, I first wash my hair and I see what the outcome is going to be. I can also give it out to some friends of mine for free. They try it. If it's a shower gel, I use it and see what is it going to be. Hand wash, the laundry detergent, my clothes. I use my own laundry detergent. I don't buy soap of any kind. Soap for washing, soap for cleaning, any soap of any kind I don't buy. I make for myself. Then the multi-purpose detergent, so anything of anything that I manufacture, I try it myself.
Is this part of what you went to school for? I mean, what you do, does it reflect your professional life?
Okay, somehow it is connected, because just like I've told you, it is science. So I'm a medical laboratory technician. So in the medical laboratory, we deal with a lot of chemical knowledge. We mix chemicals, only that in the medical laboratory is more interested in chemicals that deal with life. So I just had to incorporate in a bit of more chemistry, because right away from my primary and secondary levels, I loved chemistry so much. Chemistry and Kiswahili, they are my best subjects. So as of now, I want to live what I dreamt or is to be. So I just had to get in more training after my tertiary level of attaining the chemistry or the medical laboratory technology. So I had to go for further training in industrial chemistry. So I incorporate the basics of the science that I have, and then with more training in the short courses that I did for chemistry, and then I come up with that. Still, I'm a researcher, so I just keep adding information every day. I have to learn something new. I have to research and see how products are coming up with the recent innovations. So you have to find out what is taking place. So I'm just a researcher. I'm interested in doing research, and some of the things I do them out of curiosity. I want to try out something new and see what comes out, and comes out well. People like it, just like that. So experiencing, like exploring science and doing some experiments is what I do. So I do it for passion, and also to earn a survival.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So where can someone find you in your company if they want your product?
Okay. Basically, to the blog Dark Concept, I operate online. My company, you can find me online. You can order for products on WhatsApp. You can order by Facebook or even TikTok. But my locality is in Entebbe. It's called Entebbe Katabi, Entebbe Municipality, Uganda. So that's where you can, if you want to physically pick up, you can find me there. But still, I do deliveries. I can even export. If someone is in Uganda or outside Uganda, I can still be able to send them the product. So accessibility is not a problem. Anywhere someone can get the product.
It's cross-border business.
Yeah.
It's a cross-border hustler.
True.
From Entebbe, Uganda.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to give us the address so that the viewers at least can access your products from wherever they are.
Yeah, the address, if I'm to repeat it, is Katabi. Katabi Town Council is located in Entebbe Municipality, which is Entebbe City, Uganda. If maybe some viewers who are seeing me from abroad, Entebbe is the very first city you reach to. When you land at the airport, it is just 5 minutes from my home. From the airport, it's just 5 minutes from my home, and then you get the products.
Do you have a landing page, like a website?
I haven't developed a website yet, but I'm in process. It is just a few weeks away for it to be in process.
So right now you are found on Facebook, Instagram, and what else?
TikTok. Mm-hmm. Yeah, TikTok is a very big deal, and WhatsApp as well.
Okay.
I have a WhatsApp business number. You can text me by WhatsApp, and go on our page. Anything you want, you can be able to use the online channels. It's still a very small company trying to grow, and we are trying to advance. So anytime I have a feeling they can be able to make payments by bank, they can be able to make payments by PaySappo, all other electronic payment systems. When we establish the website, someone can also be able to get the payment details using the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in this business?
It's 1 year and 9 months. This is the 9 months. I started it in January of 2022. That is when I registered the company with Uganda Registration Service Bureau, and I was starting it just a simple hustle. I just finished school. I finished school in 2020, and so I was looking out for a better way of surviving, regardless of my professional work, and something that will give me pleasure in doing, experiencing what I like. And that was the time when COVID had come in, so it gave me an idea, and I was looking out for, if I'm to do business, maybe I've started earning some little money, but I have responsibilities. I find I was unable to save. I get my salary today, tomorrow my sibling calls me, she's going to sign a dead year, no tuition, no school fees, so I go and withdraw it and pay. By the end of the day, I find I have no cash with me, but then I've been working. So I sat down, I was like, okay, I need to find out something where I'm going to put my money. In that, if I don't have solid cash, there is some money invested. And I was looking out for a season when maybe I would not be in position to earn, but then I was earning from COVID, the pandemic, but then I knew it was going to be something not for so long. So I started with the company. I went to register it, and then after registering with Uganda Registration Service Bureau, that's when I started making. I didn't take the progress as fast as it could, but from January, from around March, that's when we started doing like very serious.
Which March?
March of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when we started doing serious production. Then you have to first catch up with the market for the customers to get to understand you, to know, to get loyal to you. And also customers have a tendency of comparing Ugandan products. You know, they have this mentality of knowing, okay, something from Uganda, something from Kampala may not be as good as something from UK. So it still takes someone, an entrepreneur, to make sure you're consistent and you're determined not to give up. So it has just been 1 year of operation, 1 year and 8 months. So, but I see a very, in a broader perspective, I think it is going to reach so far, and I have a feeling it is going to live more than I will live. So, yeah.
Someone who's listening to you would wish to know a little bit more about you in terms of your educational background.
Okay, my educational background, if I can start from the very start of my education. Actually, I didn't do nursery. By the time I was a very little kid, the school which was near our place, we didn't have nursery settings. So I started from primary, and I started from my home place in Kabale, Uganda, and my primary school was called Chitoma Primary School. That was my very first primary school that I attended to. And then when I finished that, I didn't finish from there up to P7 because my dad is a priest, working with Anglican priest. So they used to transfer us so much. So you transfer from church to church. So the school where I did my P7 exams, primary living examinations, called Brenda Primary School. It's also in Kabale. You cross Lake Bunyonyi. If you're to reach that school, you have to cross Lake Bunyonyi. It's somewhere in the hill. After finishing the primary living exams, I had performed well. I was the best in that school, and actually in that sub-county, I was the best. So I got to get a chance to go to study from the town. Those schools were village schools, but then because I performed well, I got a scholarship. It was a half bursary, and I joined Kabale Brainstorm High School, which is located in Kabale town. I did there from senior 1 up to senior 4, and I went back for for A-level. I intended to leave. I intended to change school, but they refused to release me. I felt so bad, but then I went back. I did my A-levels, also finished it. So senior 1 to senior 6 was Kabale Brainstorm High School.
Why did you intend to change school?
While I was studying, I got sick. I developed ulcers, and it was hard for me to cope up with life. And the food that was much more available by then was posho and beans and porridge. So when I got these ulcers, I got complications. I failed to eat posho, I failed to eat beans and porridge. So I was looking for a school that maybe could give me something different. And so I had friends in those schools. They would tell me I wanted Kigezi High School. Kigezi High School is where I wanted to join. And actually I went there, I sought for admission. They gave me admission. But when I went to get the recommendation from my former school, they refused to give me the recommendation. So that's why I had to go back. But I loved the school. They had very good teachers, and the directors, they were very good. The only thing that was forcing me to change, because I wanted to change diet, because I was suffering just because of the meals there. I was feeling I needed to change an environment and then get better meals. But as well, the academic background of Kigezi High School was also very encouraging. So I had wanted to just try it out as well. Regardless, I was able to succeed from Kabale Brainstorm High School. When I finished, I did a course. By the time I was doing my senior 6, my A-level, the course I had it around. In the whole school, I was doing a very unique course, and BCG, biology, chemistry, geography, then stroke sub-math. When I did O-level, actually I loved Kiswahili so much. I'd wanted to do Kiswahili even at A-level, but because I wanted to be a scientist, the time I was sick in A-level, I used to fall sick quite often, and I would go to the hospital, and I would not like the treatment those nurses would give me. There's some attitude they would show which I would not like. So in my mind, myself, I got an inspiration. I said, I will have to be a medical worker. I have to be a medical worker and make sure that I give patients the best treatment or the best care they deserve. But when it came to senior 4, I did well my sciences, and as well the arts that I did. Swahili was one of my best performed subjects. I performed the distinction. So when it came to getting a subject combination, it was either to get an art combination or a science combination. But then, so I knew chemistry and biology could not lack on my combination because I wanted to be a medical worker. So those were core. So the next was to add the third one, and then for stroking, you would either stroke computer or sub-math. So for it, it would get out what you would stroke would correspond automatically after you've gotten a combination. So I had done agriculture, so people were telling me to take physics. I was supposed to take either physics or agriculture to make up the combination for it to easily match with biology and chemistry. And actually agriculture had also performed it well with the distinction, but I loved geography. And we had 2 directors. The directors of that school, there are 2, and both of them were teaching geography.
And which year was that?
That was 2015. That is when I was selecting the combination, and then I did the exams 2016. So I had trouble actually getting the combination. I remember the director of studies tried to schedule the timetable, and it could not correspond because my course, my combination, I had it around, so it was not matching within the timetable, so it was colliding.
How did it happen that you have a unique and combination?
That's why I'm telling you, I love the geography. I was supposed to take PCB, chemistry, biology, and physics, or chemistry, biology, and agriculture. The combinations comes back. So those combinations were very common. Everyone had them. Like they were so common. Like you would get a class with many students having the same combination. But because I wanted to become a scientist, I never wanted to drop biology and chemistry. So the only trouble was what to add next. But then I loved geography because of the lectures we had. They were so good. They would teach, and I feel they have taught me to the core. And so I never wanted to drop the subject, and having it in the background that it would make me to get the science course, the medical course that I wanted, other than agriculture, because I had gotten some bit of career guidance, though it was not enough. So someone told me if I take agriculture, it has less advantage of me making it to the medical course. Agriculture can get you to environmental and livestock and related stuff, but I wanted to be a medical person. But still, because I would have offered physics, but still because of the love that I had for geography and the impression I'd gotten from the two directors, I made it to take BCG. So the timetable could not favor me, and the director of studies called me to advise me to change the combination. I was so determined. I told him I'm not going to change the combination. I know I can afford it. He told me, I'm advising you from the experience. You cannot afford to have this combination. Moreover, you're doing it alone. I insisted. He called the two directors. There was another director for O-level, and so they were like the top 5 people of the school. So they surrounded me. They tried to give me advice to change the combination. I insisted. I told them I want my combination. I don't know where I got the boldness from, but I remember I told them, if you cannot give me that combination, better give me recommendation. I try outside, because like I told you, I wanted to join Kigezi High School, and I had gone there already. They had told me they can give me the combination, but they had not given me recommendation to join Kigezi High School because they wanted to retain me. So I was bold enough to tell them, if you cannot give me the recommendation, tell me, give me recommend. If you cannot give me the course, the subject combination, give me recommendation. I get another school. And so they looked at it. They first looked at each other. As I was just thinking, maybe they're going to say, let's release her, or maybe we can even suspend her, because at that time I think it was not polite to say. But then one of the directors, he looked at them and said, you know what, in Kampala students take combinations which they want. Someone can take an Islamic language, and they take Swahili and chemistry. He said it in a funny way. Okay, the combinations he tried to combine, even myself had not heard of it, but I was like, okay, now if Kampala people can do it, me too, I can also do it. So they just decided to give me the course, the combination, but they assured me that I'm going to be missing some lectures because the lectures were colliding. So they told me, you're going to be at liberty of choosing which one you're going to attend and which one you're going to dodge. So the ones which were colliding were geography and chemistry. So one of the directors is called Mr. Baguma Alex. He told me, Brenda, you know I teach chemistry, but something I'm going to advise you is don't ever dodge chemistry to go and learn geography. Instead, go and attend chemistry, then you can dodge geography, then after you will come and explain to you. He's not the one who was teaching that. Actually, it is a different director who was teaching that. It was called Geography Paper 1. And Geography Paper 1 is the hardest paper of geography. But by coincidence, it's the one that collided, and so I could not attend the lessons. And it was very hard. However, I tried to make sure I give it attention. So I would miss the lesson. I attend chemistry. After I go to the students, they explained, my fellow students. Unfortunately, I never went to the dialect at any time for him to tell me the lessons, but I would hustle it out within the students. So the very first term was hard. It was really hard. I think I got around 12 or 10 points. So they still had put me on pressure. They were putting me on pressure. But why don't you change the combination? You see, you're not performing well. I said, give me another trial. So the second term of senior 5, I was able to balance all the 3 principles, biology, chemistry, and geography, with B. So I had 17 points out of 20. So from then, they had even called my dad to tell him, to advise me to change the course. I told him, Daddy, it is me who knows what I want. Leave me, I'm going to do the course. So when I scored 17 points in the second term of senior 5, they said, let's leave her, she can afford the course. So it's continued like that. I did the course, finished it, senior 6. And then after senior 6, so waited for the exam. The exams came. I had passed, though I had not made it to get like a public university scholarship, but I had passed well. So in the time when the exam had come out, I was a bit desperate. I didn't know what was going to happen next, because my parents could not afford to pay for me on private, to pay for me for campus, a medical course which I wanted. So at first I lost hope. I knew probably I'm not going to make it in school. I tried moving up and down looking out for scholarships, but I could not get even the scholarships. I tried to get a loan scheme. I applied for loan scheme where when they give you a loan scheme scholarship, it is part of like cost sharing. So you pay some bit and then they give you some amount of money. So district quota. It was called the district quota. So I tried the district quota and then I was granted. But then I was granted to do clinical medicine. I'd gotten an admission for clinical medicine on district quota. So it was a bit of cost sharing, and so it needed 1.5 million Ugandan shillings. And
Annually?
No, just the first semester. So I was supposed to get 750, and then they were to give me 750. So my parents could not get the money, and so I dropped it out. I dropped the scholarship. So that time I just became hopeless. I was there. I didn't know what was going to happen next. Then it was just after a few weeks when I didn't know I was going to make it for any tertiary institution that I got a call. Someone called me and they had seen me in the newspapers that I was admitted on government merit to do a course at Uganda Institute of Allied Health and Management Sciences. That is the Mulago. It's usually to be called Mulago Paramedical here at Rufaro. So that is how I got the public admission to do the medical laboratory course, and then I joined the 3 years. I was there. I was able to achieve that. So that is basically where I have been able to achieve up to. However, currently I still have admission. I got admitted to do my bachelor's with Zimbabwe University of Science and Technology. I was admitted last year. I was supposed to have finished 1 year now, but because of financial constraints, I could not make it for the course, and I requested for the third year. So right now, that is where I can say my education background stops.
Is this fresh admission different from the previous course you took? Or the same line of?
No, it is just advancement in the same line. The other one I did, it was a diploma, the one I got on government scholarship.
Yeah,
it was a diploma in medical laboratory technology. So this is the bachelor's.
Which is going to take how long?
It's a weekend program. It takes 2.5 years.
Okay. But you're on it. Are you still? You're still determined to do it?
Yes, I'm still determined to do it, regardless of the financial constraints. I'm hopeful that any time God can make a way for me, and I do it.
You're going to juggle hustling and schooling.
Okay. What I can say is that schooling and the hustling, they are all necessary. Both of them are necessary, and they actually need each other. Because if I'm hustling, that's where I'm going to be getting like transport. Maybe I need a book. I need to pay for, maybe to get handouts, scholastic materials. So I have a feeling it is going to support me in that way. Concerning time, the school timetable does not take place at night. It's a weekend program, and we are meant to study from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So the rest of the time at night I have at night, and the good thing with my hustle, it is indoor. So I can hustle out all I want to hustle, even at night. I've been up at midnight, I've been up at 1, I'm a late sleeper. There's no time I sleep. It is so rare for me to sleep before midnight. And I just do my hustle after the normal routine. So there's nowhere it can collide, and I have a feeling there is nowhere it can collapse, and it is not going to be affected.
Tell me just a little bit about your family, where you're from. How many siblings? Small things.
Okay.
So someone wants to know you and where you are from.
Okay, my family background. I'm a second born of my family of 6. I can say my background is a humble background. They prefer calling it humble. They just call it humble in English, but I don't think saying poor is also something bad. But I can say it's a humble background.
Like many of us. We are all from similar background.
So that is the kind of background I come from. I'm the second born.
Who is your role model?
Actually, what I can say is I don't have a specific role model, but I have so many role models. I've got friends of different categories, and everyone inspires me in a different way. That's why I'm good at multitasking. Actually, some people ask me, how do you make it? I could have told you about the hustle, maybe the personal hustle and the medical background, and I've not told you the other side of the story, but I have some other things that I connect. So I get inspiration from different people. So when I get an inspiration from someone, I settle down and see how can I use my strength to achieve something related to what they are and in line with my passion. That's how I can tell you I've been able to set up that hustle of mine, which is in line with industrial chemistry. But what I did is medical laboratory. So I'm doing it out of passion, but because I love chemistry, I'm exercising chemistry. So the person of interest now to inspire me, there are now people who are into business, like any kind of business. I've actually been able to take some business courses, actually business foundational courses. I've done business courses because I'm interested in growing my hustle. I'm not just doing it for the case of getting money and surviving, but I want to do it from first principles, understanding the basic concept of how to do business in the better way. That's how I was able to register my company. I registered it with URSB, I registered it with URA, I registered it with NSSF, just to be a responsible hustler okay, you hustle but you pay tax. So somewhere the government is maybe benefiting from you. So I get a lot of inspirations from different people, and once I get inspired from someone, I make sure I use it in line with what my passion is to develop. I may tell you, I have people who have inspired me in Swahili.
We're going to go there.
So if I find any inspiration in anywhere, in any field, I just try to gather knowledge and try to incorporate it within my means, and I see if I can do it to achieve something for myself, maybe for the community or the environment around me. But I don't have a specific role model.
And this brings us to the end of part 1 of a long story cut short. I hope you didn't mind background noise because I'm interviewing a hustler in an environment of hustling. Where else would I interview a hustler if not in a hustler environment? By the way, part 2 is going to be about Swahili, the reason for her keen interest in Swahili, and the kind of strides she has made so far as a Swahili learner and teacher at the same time. Keep watching.